Hello everybody, welcome back to How to Build a B-1 Bomber. I've been doing some body work and man, I've got it looking pretty good. Really didn't take that much. You know, I used that real fine grade filler and hit it a couple times. It all looks good and I saved my panel line. That was a big old ugly spot right there, remember? And that panel line looks perfect. All in through here, that all looks good. I saved all my panel lines. Remember that seam ran right through the middle of these three right here. And they look good. And this seam here went right through the middle of this one. And I don't know how good you can see them, but there's three panel lines up there. And you can't even tell where that seam was, and I saved all my panel lines. Now, in the back here, I haven't did this yet. I got one more little spot to fill there. But see where my panel line disappears? Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and put a layer of my panel line tape on there. I'm only going to go a couple inches up the sides, and then put my tape back on all my panel lines where I had to fill them. See, like that one right there? Then I'll come back in there. This is just kind of a light coat of primer, and so I can get it primered all the way through. And then I'll come back and put a couple more heavy coats on it and wet sand it, put another one in, and get the same depth like I did up here. I'll feather it out a little bit, give it a good sanding, pull my tape off. You'll never be able to find that seam. And these doors over here, some of these was looking pretty rough too. I had a lot of air bubbles. And still, I got one more little tiny one I need to fix. But that was pretty simple. All I did is I took the same piece that I had taped in my mold and hit it with some filler. I let it set up for just 2 or 3 minutes, just till it starts to get rubbery. Then you take a straight razor or your X-Acto and kind of slice it, put a nice clean slice in it, and bam, fixed. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I kind of had to feel where my panel line goes, so I'll put some tape on there and I'll build up some primer and I'll feather it in real nice, and then it'll look good. Remember these things here? These were looking kind of rough too. I did the same thing. Took the pieces out of my mold that I had double face tape in there, put them back where they go, hit it with some filler, and then I sanded. After I cut it with a razor blade, I let it set up all the way. Then I went ahead and sanded it when this was in place, so I wouldn't round this edge, especially on this thin edge back here. See the seam right there? See, these actually fold up. They do it when the airplane's landing. There's some generators in there and some oil pumps they got to keep cool, or some hydraulic pumps, and so them actually open when it's landed, and they just kind of sit up there. If you ever see pictures of a B-1 sitting on a tarmac, these things are open, and they kind of got cloth. Well, I'm going to get fancy here. You're going to get the 2 fingers, and there's some cloth in between there, and we're going to make something that'll look good. But I've been working away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around after I get these panel lines fixed. I'll have them fixed today. Then I can cut this door out right here so I can get to the other side. Excuse me. I got a big old nasty seam over here I got to fix, and it's going to be real easy. I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to do my double face tape trick, and then retape it from the inside because I can get through it to my hole over there. It'd be real easy. But I'm going to make that seam look real good. It's going to hardly take any filler. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'll make a movie. I'm going to get this other side done. Then I got a idea for the bottom that I'm going to discuss with you guys later. But it's looking good. I sure like it. And I want to go over a couple things with you. I got my F-16 finished. I got my Retract box. The box I was telling you about. This works all 3. This works my landing gear. This works my gear doors, and this works my brakes all in one. And I'm going to show you how that works. That's pretty slick. I'm just going to have to sit tight in here for a second. And let me power up the system. So I actually got a dual battery set up. I had to use 2 voltage regulators. And then I got my dual pins right there. Pull these pins and power up the system. Then I can turn the switch on. That's one of the fail-safe switches for the receiver. Turn on my transmitter. And we got power. Now, this box is pretty cool. It's got a digital display. Tells you how many pounds of pressure you got in the gear and your brakes. And I just use this to air it up at home. This is one of them air chucks from Harbor Freight. It's got a built-in air chuck. And then you just put the rest of your stuff in it. That's the coolest thing I ever bought. That was only like $5 at Harbor Freight. Now just that way I don't have to use my battery operated compressor when I'm in the shop. But this works my gear and my brakes and my gear doors. Can you see the little digital display on it? That's got the pounds in my retracts and the pounds in my brakes, because it's got 2 different air cylinders for both of them. But here's the landing gear. And the gear door shut, open, then they hesitate and come down. That is just sweet. Watch how this works. It rotates and goes up. Slam. And that's a good fit too. Just when you think they ain't going to come down, they come down. And then here's my brakes. That's proportional. And then that's my parking brake when I'm just starting my turbine. See that light right there? That's my parking brake. And when it buzzes, that's my proportional brakes. See, the louder it buzzes, the more brakes are applied. I got that mixed with my down elevator. So when I land, I just hit the down elevator and it brakes. And then this switch is my parking brake. And I want to show you guys something else about this radio. This is the coolest thing ever. You know how I know anyone that's ever had retracts on an airplane has turned on the radio with that gear switch up. But watch this 12X. If you turn on the gear and say that switch is flipped, you power up, it's got an alarm. It will not transmit till you put the gear back down. Because especially like F-18 Hornets and F-16, if you turn on your radio with that gear switch flipped up, what do? Retract. Bam! Falls right on your gear doors. Usually jacks them up pretty good. Especially F-18 Hornets, because they go back. They've got so many gear doors down there. That's just disastrous when that happens. But this 12X has got a safety switch. Hey, and one more thing about this box. This has got a fail-safe on the landing gear. Say you're up there flying around and you get a leak in your airline and you start dropping pressure. When it reaches 50 pounds, the gear automatically come down. And won't let you do nothing with the switch. That's what they did. They come down, they lock, bam, you got gear. And then when they got them little springs on them air cylinders, say the rest of the air does leak out, them little springs on them air cylinders keep them locked. I just think that's amazing. Okay. And then first, you know, we ordered that box came from DreamWorks. But, you know, I bought all this stuff through Camlax. And so we kind of got confused a little bit. And she sent me these ones first. Now these are pretty cool. They got the same fail-safe. These all came from DreamWorks Models, guys, by the way. But I ordered them through Camlex. This one here is a pretty cool setup, but it only does two things. This will work your landing gear and your brakes, your landing gear and your gear doors, any of that combination. And say your gear doors and your brakes. I got thinking about that. Wow, guess what I need on the B-1? So Monica, if you're watching, I might just go ahead and take this one from you too. But see, my landing gear is on hydraulics. So they'll go up, and then my gear doors and my brakes will be air. That's two things. And that'll work. I mean, that'll be awesome. That'll give me my proportional brakes. And that's a pretty nice deal. But these things, man, these are cool. You don't have to buy the servos. And you got this fail-safe and proportional brakes so they don't lock up and flat spot your tires. See, that's, folks, that's why we got to have proportional brakes. Because if you just got on and off, every time you hit them brakes, these tires will lock up. And they'll lock up solid. And then you'll flat spot them tires. And you'll have to buy new tires all the time, you know, and that can get expensive and pricey, plus your plane goes down the runway. But anyway, I was just going to give you guys a heads up of what's going on. And now this F-16's finished. See, I got those stickers on it. Looks good. I sure like this airplane. Got me a little carbon fiber deal. I was scared. I know them cones get real hot on these P200s. So I was just kind of worried about it getting hot on my cover. I just put that piece of carbon fiber right here. I had it all bypass. And yeah, that's one of them P200s. This is actually going to be my flying test stand. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of run time on every one of them P200s, just to make sure they're all in good shape and have some fun with them. Might as well. They're sitting around, not doing nothing, collecting dust while I'm building the plane for them. And we're going to be trucking. That thing with 4 P200s is just going to be awesome, people. You can't hardly hold this. This plane alone wants to scoot you down to concrete. It's going to take like four stout boys like myself and Butch to hold that thing. But I'll keep you guys informed, and y'all have a nice holiday weekend. And I got my son coming home from Thanksgiving. He's been away in college. My daughter's coming over. We're going to have us a good time. I want everyone else out there to you know, even y'all that don't have a Thanksgiving around the world, have a good weekend. Spend it with your family, and we will see you back in the shop.